everybody, it's Keely O'Brien here. So this is, I'm so excited to share this book with you. Really excited. It's just taken me so long to complete this book, and I had the idea back in the summer of 2024, depending on when you're watching this, so last summer. Place I work, it was a lovely hot day and I just needed a breath of air, so I popped out sort of mid-afternoon for a little stroll. I'm so lucky to have a job where I can actually do that when it's not busy. And I found my way to an antiques market in London where I work, and it's just down the road. And I thought, flipping heck, there's an idea for an ephemera book, an antiques market or an antique shop, because I love poking around in antique shops. I don't know why I don't go in there more often, to be honest. I probably end up buying too many antiques, but anyway, I'm trying to get rid of things at the moment, but anyway, long story. So I basically sort of made a mental note of various types of things that are in the antique shop, as you can imagine, and I just got to work. So I hope you're going to love the antique ephemera to cut out and collage that I put together in this book. And these books are so easy to use. You haven't got to have a printer, you haven't got to by the way, Amazon don't always print things correctly. I've had 2 copies of this book, neither of them have been quite right. So can you see it's gone off the edge slightly? It doesn't do any, harm when it comes to cutting out. But honestly, if you get a copy and you're not happy with the print quality, just go on the Amazon app. I got my second copy free because it had misprinted. There were pictures poking off the top. But anyway, there's my collage. Oh, look at the colours. It's very kind of crowded and cluttered and full of gorgeous, gorgeous things. And I love that look. It's just full of gorgeous pictures. You could cut these out as well because lots of them are tiny. They'd be good for ATCs and stuff. And I've actually got a lamp. I've got 2 lamps a bit like that at home, so there's a lot of my own taste going on here. And sort of Chinese, Oriental designs as well, which I love. And there's lots of little Teds. So they're partly from my friend in Holland, Demi, not Holland, the Netherlands. Sorry, God, I'm showing my age. So Demi loves teddies, and she's always crafting with my books on Instagram. So I couldn't do an antique shop ephemera book without some Teds anyway. And my mum's got a really, really old teddy. So my mum just turned 85 and she got the teddy, I think, when she was 1 year old. So she has an 84-year-old bear. And that was the kind of old teddy that I was going for in this book. And there's the world's shortest story of how the story I've just told you, of how I wandered into the shop and came up with the idea for this particular book. Okay, right. You know how I like to put, as well as my collage, I like to put some teeny images at the front. So partly just to show what's inside the book and give a flavour and help you know what to look out for, but also they're great to cut up. I pretty much always cut some of those up, like for ATCs, or if I just want like smaller little images for the background of something bigger. And I also had rather a lot of fun doing these background pages too, so you could use those as background material for collage. Okay, so lovely old books. I've got a thing about books. So many books in this room, I don't count them. There's probably I don't know, 500 books in this room, I would guess. Anyway, stuff. But I love as I say, browsing around an antique shop, I've got some nice old leather books there, and these gorgeous old black and white photographs in frames of these pretty ladies. I know this kind of ephemera is so popular on like Instagram and TikTok. When you see people making crafts with this kind of ephemera, having a figure, a person in your artwork can really make it pop and bring it to life. So we have some of those, and obviously we've got tables and little pewter dog there, pin cushion. Just really had fun trying to think up all the different things. And carnival glass. Do you remember carnival glass? Maybe you don't, but anyway, it's this really brightly coloured glass and really fancy shapes. And there's lots of fans as well, so if you're doing something on like a, I don't know, Japanese theme or something a little bit exotic in that way, then you could use those fans. And lots of lovely kind of antique colours, soft browns and sort of faded. Love that hat. It's on the front cover, look. Spectacles and little cameras, and I've included things different sizes as well, so that if you're making ATCs you've got plenty to choose from, or bigger projects. There's lots there. And I know keys are very, very popular in ephemera, and these are, what are these things called? Oh, help me. My brain, this is what happens. I start recording and then I suddenly realise that the words are not in my brain. These things are called, they're not, well, they are silhouettes, but they've got another name. Oh, let me know in the comments, please. There's another one there. I think they're stunning. And old typewriters, perfume bottles. Now those look, I love that one. Look at the colours. They're amazing. And some nice little floral, like stitched embroidery flowers and in frames. See those? Sorry if this is making you feel seasick, but I just really want to show you the detail because there's so much going on in this book. So we've got leather chairs. Oh, I love a red leather button back armchair. Sit in the pub, one of those chairs, nice glass of wine or splendid craft beer, and you feel like all is right with the world. Footstool, cute teddy, and lots of lovely dolls in here. Now, there's kind of two camps with the antique dolls, isn't there? There's the, these dolls are too spooky, I am scared, take them away. Or there's, what gorgeous antique dolls, I love them. And yeah, one of my friends at work, he thinks that they are terrifying. So no, don't show me the spooky dolls. But yeah, no, I think they're unique and wonderful and great for adding a sort of antique flavour to your collage. Or if you think they're creepy and scary, save them for Halloween. It's completely your call. Look at these old Teds. How cute are they? And Nutcracker, some nice old leather bags as well. Love all of that. And how about this for boudoir accessories? We've got loads of pretty pink perfume bottles and some more fans and a pretty chair. Right, if anybody can tell me where they've seen that chair before in the comments, I'll be impressed. I'll know that you know my books, because that chair has featured in another book. Let me know if you've spotted it. Can you see? It's got roses and blue, basically blue. Anyway, let me know if you know where that is in one of my other books. And yeah, I love lavender, and I don't include very much purple in my books, whether it's because Nicole hates purple. Nicole from Relax Cut Glue, she shows my books, and crafts with them. I don't know, because I love purple and mauve actually. It's probably more a description of that, but I wanted to include some lovely old-fashioned soaps. Aren't they pretty? Look, they look really soapy. Anyway, those are in there, and gorgeous. I've tried to give you a bit of a colour scheme on each page as well. Some of them are mixed up, but some of them are a bit stronger. So we've got the two blue leather chairs there that I used when I made... Oh no, I didn't. Oh no, one of them is. I changed it up. I had the two blue ones there to begin with. But that's the fun of collage, isn't it? You can switch things around and change them up. And I do make the one in the front electronically, so I can also play with the scale of the images. Mirrors, and my mum's got a Welsh dresser with china on like that. Very old-fashioned these days, but a bit more carnival glass. Lots of sort of porcelain plates and sort of loveliness. Gorgeous marbles here. You see those? I do tend to make the colours softer than they really should be. Somebody once wrote that the colours were all washed out, but what I don't want is for you to see all the colours showing through on the page, so I'm a bit cautious in that regard, but they're only meant to be background papers anyway, just to make it a bit more fun and give you something to look at. And then if you've cut loads of ephemera out and you can't remember where it came from, you can probably guess from seeing the backgrounds that they were mine. Anyway, right, we've got some super pretty furniture here, which would probably work very, very well paired with, you know, a figure in front, or creating a room with a character or characters in. So I wanted to make sure there was plenty of that sort of thing. Yeah, lots of smaller antique and vintage items, so jugs and china and bottles. Look at these lovely old bottles. Love all that. Coloured glass. These sort of things, I don't know, they're just not so in fashion anymore, and it's such a shame because there's such a variety and so much skill. Imagine somebody sat down and they designed that shape, excuse me, and they worked out how to decorate it, and you know, these things are not easy to make, I feel sure. Anyway, we've got a very fancy sofa here, all bursting with coloured flowers. Very pretty, and some Teds and a bunny and some toys. Pretty antique table. Oh yeah, snow globe. Vintage snow globe. And now what about these? Oh, there's the other chair I used in that collage, look. Antique clocks, gorgeous dolls, look, with all the ruffles and lace and silks. Knocked the camera right off the stand. I was just getting too excited. Anyway, yes, a gorgeous doll. I'll try not to hit the camera this time. Old antique typewriter, more armchairs, because I think they're going to be useful for you in your collages. Vases. And some of these things might be a little bit fiddly to cut out, but I apologise for that. Some of them are easier, like this. I do try to make sure that there aren't too many bits of like flyaway hair and things like that. Now, frames. People use these all the time in their projects that I've seen going on Instagram and TikTok as well. So I mean, you can buy stickers with these sorts of things, which is very easy, but I rather like the process of cutting out and collaging. So there's plenty of pretty vintage frames here for you. Those are a little bit more mirrored, sort of 1920s look, which I also love. I can't believe that was 100 years ago, the 1920s. Anyway, here we go. Lots of gorgeous china and glassware. You see, where can you go to buy beautiful coloured glassware like that? Everything's a blooming same these days, isn't it? This kind of stuff, I think, is just magical and such a treat to drink out of. I think drinking vessels, or as a cocktail shaker, drinking vessels are just a pleasure. They make the drink taste better, in my opinion, if you drink out of a beautiful glass. I've got some, cut glass, wine glasses and so on. Well, I did have, they all got broken. And now I've got some, I don't know where they're from, but they don't ring when you ding them with with your fingernail. They're just chunkier and more robust. I think they're from Marks and Spencer's, but, they're just not the same. I think Edinburgh Crystal were the ones that I had, and they were fabulous. I still have the odd few left over, but when I go in a shop like this, I've always got my eye out to look for the missing whiskey tumbler, or the missing, well, they're all broken now, but the missing red wine glass, or the missing champagne flute, because sometimes you do come across these missing pieces, and then you can get back to a set of 6 instead of a dwindling set. Right, there we go. What's going on in there? Dolls, jewellery even, and some more lovely couples photographs. And poor sad old Teddy, look, nobody's bought him. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. Anyway, there we go. A few more bits of furniture and some lovely Rococo clocks. All sorts of things you could do with those. They might even go in my steampunk book. And more frames. Again, they're quite vintagey and fancy. Also could get away with some of that in my steampunk book. Now, what about these? Oh, I just adore the soft, fluffy frothiness of these colours, and those beautiful, beautiful, sad looking porcelain dolls, and the bird cages as well. They look amazing in a piece and really pretty it up as a little background element, I think. Might have to use some of those very soon. And we've got some sort of silverware here, chalices and milk jugs and so on. Little tea caddy and some beautiful shells and sort of Japanese figurine, all sorts of stuff going on. And hey, what about that for a colour scheme? Everything is copper, and you know how much I love copper because of all my steampunky stuff, but actually, this reminds me of the kitchen in the Royal Pavilion in Brighton. I'll say no more. If you want to Google it and look up about that, you'll see why it reminds me of the kitchen in the Royal Pavilion in Brighton. So, yeah, here we go. More lamps and candlesticks and vintage medals and little sort of pillboxes. All sorts of stuff. And here are some of those oil paintings that I put in my collage over here at the front. So these images came from this selection, and all kinds of sort of eclectic bits and bobs. So we've got weighing scales and urns and cushions and a trophy, kimonos, how pretty are they? Shaving sets. Okay, now this page, I don't know, I just keep thinking if you're a bit more of a serious collage artist, I don't know why it has to be more serious, but these amazing sort of Grecian sculptures might work very well in something a little bit less sort of frothy and a bit more gravitas maybe. And some of the Greek columns, are they Ionic? Doric, or what's the other one? Corinthian. I think that, oh no, I'm going to get stuck now. I think that one is Corinthian with the swirly bits. I think that's Ionic. And I'm not sure. Anyway, let me know if you're an expert on Greek columns. I did used to know, because when I was teaching, we always used to do the ancient Greeks, but my brain can't hold on to all that much data. I've sort of deleted some of it over the years. I have to look things up again to refresh my brain. Anyway, tins of buttons. Look at that. Very, very pretty in my humble opinion. And coin trays and marbles. Love marbles. Anyway. So then we've got that cute little girl Teddy, a piggy bank. It's so fun when you're in an antique shop and you find these things. They're just so nostalgic, aren't they? And a gorgeous doll's house. I remember getting a doll's house for my birthday when I was a little girl. I was so excited. It was just this amazing miniature world, and I could create stories and make things happen in the house. It was fun. Right, some more great bits and bobs for sort of background images. And look at these pretty teacups. I expect you know, if you know my books, that I already have an afternoon tea ephemera book. So this is a little bit of a nod to that book. But if you do want lots more images that are going to go with your images from this book, then that book is a wonderful companion to this one, because it's got all the vintage teapots, cups and saucers, spoons, figures, people having afternoon tea, little bunnies and kittens having afternoon tea, and what a great institution afternoon tea is. Anyway, right, some softer colours here, and some furniture and some lamps, tables, all that kind of thing. And we're at the end. So I included, look how organised I am these days. Here, you can scan this with your phone, and that will take you straight to YouTube to see my flip through videos. This is going to be on that playlist. And I put here, and I really do appreciate this. If you enjoyed my book, I would be incredibly grateful if you wrote an Amazon review. Thank you. So just saying, honestly, it makes the world of difference. And some very kind people have already done that for this book, and you can see what they thought. And I've included a little miniature version of all my other books. Look at the back. I fiddled around for ages trying to get that to work, so I could fit them all in and it would still look pretty. The colour here didn't come out very well, so I may have to re-upload yet again and make it a stronger colour. It was supposed to be a very pale pink, but it just looks like I couldn't be bothered to finish it, doesn't it? Anyway, right, here are my social links. So I've got Instagram, you can find me if you scan that. TikTok, that's my main TikTok account, you can find me on there. I do have a Steampunk Keely TikTok as well. My Ko-fi shop, my little Ko-fi shop, so you can find some freebies on my Ko-fi shop if you scan this. And obviously you already found me on YouTube, or you wouldn't be watching this video, but if you want a quick way to get there, in the back of the book it's right here. And please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. You can do that directly, of course, on this video. There we go. Right, I hope that you love that book. It literally has taken me 6 months, over 6 months, to get all the images and get the balance right, and the collages as well. Take some time, and I'm really thrilled with this. I can't stop looking at the cover and the back cover. There was all sorts going on behind this, but I wanted to include what the book was for. So I've said it's ideal for scrapbooking, junk journals, paper crafts, collage, artist trading cards, art journals and card making. So there, if you love antiques and vintage things and you enjoy collaging or ATCs, junk journals, this book is going to give you so many pretty images. Anyway, I'm off, and I'm right in the middle of Mixed Media March 25 at the moment, so I'm going to shoehorn this video in as well, and I really hope that you're going to love it. And if you haven't seen my Mixed Media March, have a look. I'm on day 4 today as I record this, so if I get a chance, I'm going to upload this in the next day or so as well. So plenty from me at the moment. Anyway, let me know what you think, and see you in the next video. Bye everybody. Thanks for watching.